Hello everybody, this is Gamer Gar. Welcome back to another Stardew Valley 100% completion Let's Play. We are now on the last week of spring and this is going to be a week to remember. There's lots of real good stuff in store for us for the next couple of days. We're now in the process of finalising our sprinklers. So we want to finish out the automated water process, and the best way to do this is to stack up on gold, iron and refined quartz. Bang out maybe 6 to 9 sprinklers and we don't have to worry about watering crops for the foreseeable future. We do have tons of kale on the farm here, ready to go in the next 3 days. Now if you're new to this series, there's a link in the description that brings you back to the first episode, and there's also a playlist as well. We now have enough resources to make 6 more quality sprinklers, but that isn't enough to fully kit out our farm to automate the watering process. We will have to make a few more. We do have lots of gold bars left over, but we need now our iron bars. So we will have to go back to the mines, farm up some iron ores just to finish out the sprinkler process. Before we go to the mines, we're just going to collect some mushrooms here. These will come in fierce handy later on. We can also dry those out. We're also going to give Robin her last axe that we found down in Cindersap Forest. It's 250 gold, we'll take it. We're now going to take a nice stroll into Marlin here, and we're going to sell him an absolute ton of weapons that we've picked up over the past couple of weeks that we're never going to use again, along with some boots as well that we found in the mines. That brings us up to 6,671 gold. Now we're down in the mines and we're going to wipe out all these dust sprites. They're dropping refined quartz, they're dropping coal, they will drop the occasional coffee bean as well. That's going to come in very handy later on when we're making triple shot espressos for our Skull Cavern runs. There will be a huge Skull Cavern run in this video, so stay tuned and keep watching for that. The bats are quite valuable. We will use their wings to make lightning rods down the road. There's also a chance they can drop bombs as well. We came across a monster infested floor here. We picked up a glow ring. We might as well equip it since we have a free ring slot. That will be upgraded in this video to a ring that you're not going to believe that we're going to get. We pick up a diamond here. That's going to come in fierce handy. Now, I'm still deciding if I should sell those diamonds or should I keep them for triple shot espressos. We'll see later on. We're making some decent progress in the mines, but what we really want are iron ores. If we see dust sprites, we'll take them. The more coal we get, the more bombs we can make, of course. We also need iron to make bombs if we're doing a Skull Cavern run. So basically, the more iron and coal that we get, the more success we're going to find in the Skull Cavern. We're using a copper pickaxe at the moment, but that will be upgraded to a steel pickaxe in just a couple of days. That's the minimum requirement for Skull Cavern. We're going to break open some barrels here just to get some goodies. Those carrot seeds, we're not going to use them because we're almost in summer. In summer, the equivalent will be squash, so we're going to grow plenty of that down the road as well. We're very close to level 7 mining, so once we get that, it's going to be more pickaxe proficiencies for us. It just means less energy while we're swinging the pickaxe around. And when we go to Skull Cavern later on, we're going to be doing lots of swinging. Just to claim that level 7, we're going to break open some of these grey rocks. Because we have the copper pickaxe, it just takes one shot to knock those rocks down. It was 1240, we're going to use a warp totem to go back to the farm. And the reason why I did this is because I wanted to make a few more sprinklers before the next day hits. It would be nice just to fully automate that watering process. Now the next day is a rainy day, but we still want to get the sprinklers sorted. So going forward, anytime we want to plant a couple of 100 crops, we don't have to worry about watering. So this isn't just setting us up for spring, this is setting us up for the rest of the game. Look at all of these quality sprinklers just waiting to be deployed. Level 7 mining, we can now transmute bars to gold bars. Transmutation isn't something I do a whole lot of, but it can come in fairly handy down the road, especially if you need a specific type of bar. Now I made 26, almost 2700 gold today. That was primarily from selling bits and bobs I picked up over the past couple of weeks in the mines. There's 15 topazes there, 80 gold a pop, some frozen tears, and an emerald. So I'm going to make 6 more quality sprinklers today. I'm going to put those down, and that is basically all of the sprinklers sorted out. What we can focus on now is fishing. It would be really nice to get our fishing skill up to level 10 before we go into summer, but at the same time we have to think about Skull Cavern preparation. We don't have a whole lot of iron ores at the moment, so we might need to go back into the mines, farm up some iron so we can make some bombs. There was a straggler kale here, a sprinkler didn't reach it. Now, I'm very weird in the way that I didn't want to waste resources on, a sprinkler to water that kale. At the same time, I didn't want to get my watering can and water it manually, so I just destroyed it instead. What's one kale, right? I made 2 recycling machines. We do have a lot of trash for putting up fish, and trash can be recycled into some pretty good items. There is a chance soggy newspapers can get you a cloth. That's very good early on. Now, I had 9300 gold. We're going to get the iridium rod now, just to get that out of the way. Because we have the iridium rod, we can get some cool bobbers. We're going to get the trap bobber. This is going to make catfish absolutely trivial. We're going to spend the rest of our money on bait. Now, we did go a bit overboard, but that bait is going to last us an awfully long time. We're going to spend the rest of the day pulling up an absolute ton of fish. Now, I was only getting silver star catfish today, which was unfortunate. I just didn't have the luck to get gold star catfish. Unless I got perfect catches, I wasn't getting gold stars. And because of that, I wasn't getting the XP I thought I would get. And when I sell these catfish, because they're only silver star catfish, I'm not going to get the money that I could have gotten if I was getting gold star catfish instead. So I got 6,640 gold. It's not bad, but I've done way better on rainy days. 312 gold for the catfish. I got lots of smallmouth bass too. They're only worth 93 gold, but because I had so many, it came to 1,674. That's alright. The reason why we're accumulating lots of money now is we need at least 40,000 gold to unlock Skull Cavern. We also need a lot more gold as well to get more upgrades, because we want to upgrade our axe as well to at least a copper axe before we get into summer. We will have to start thinking about collecting hardwood and other resources like that if we want to make some serious progression. Now, I decided to head down to the beach today just to get some more forageables, just to make some extra money. We hoed up a fan. That is a real nice artifact right there. We can give that into Gunther, and the more artifacts we give him now, the more progress we can make when it comes to getting down to the source. We went to the flower dance only to get the rare crow and the tub of flowers recipe. We need those for perfection. I didn't have any sort of relationship built with any of the NPCs to the point where they dance with me, so I just had to stand back and watch them all dance away. Not to worry though, next year we can always go back to the event, and it's a great way to get some friendship points with people. So for the rest of the evening, we're just going to use up the rest of our energy, and we're going to cut down a ton of trees. There's multiple reasons we want to do this. Number one, it's going to make more space on our farm. The more space we make, the more ground we can hoe up. We can just make some more sprinklers then, and that means we can plant down a lot more crops. Now, we are aiming for starfruit in summer, so money is going to be very important, and all this wood will come in handy when we're going to make tappers and we're going to make kegs later on. I hoed up a good night shirt, some mystery boxes, and a chicken statue. It was quite lucky. The chicken statue has already been given into Gunther, so we can just sell that. We're just going to cut down a couple more trees before we call it a night. We do have 3,141 gold at the moment, so we don't really want to pass out because the penalty could be a few hundred gold. We have a few little pieces of energy left, but look at what's happened now. Look at all this kale. Now this is what you call a kale farm in spring. And this was only possible by rinse and repeating various processes, such as buying kale, selling it, buying more, selling that, and then buying even more. Simple enough. And then we just go to the mines, and we just mine up all the minerals to make quality sprinklers. So this is quite possible for anybody to do in spring if you're looking to make an absolute ton of money, and you don't want to go other routes such as, fishing until you go a bit crazy. We could have fished and fished and fished. We could have made just as much money, but the great thing about all this kale is that we're getting tons of farming experience, and now we have level 9 farming. And once we get one more level in farming, we can unlock a very powerful perk that will make crops grow 10% faster, and that's going to come in fierce handy, especially when we start growing the big crops like the starfruit and things like that. The help wanted quest was to give someone a cauliflower. We had to ignore that because we know cauliflowers on the farm. I sold all of the kale to Pierre. We now have 50,000 gold to play around with. Now with that 50,000 gold, there's a few things we need to do with it. I was going to buy a speed grow for the green bean. I decided not to. I can always just get the green bean later on. When we get to Ginger Island, there's lots of perks that we can get over there that would allow us to get any crop we want regardless of the season, so I'm not too worried about that. We are going to go to Morris, and we are going to go the Georgia route, and the only reason we're going the Georgia route is because I want to show you how powerful this route can be, and because we're doing a let's play I can show you step by step on how you can activate all of the perks very, very early in the game. With the Joja route, we will be able to get to Ginger Island very, very early indeed. All we need is money, and it's so easy to make money in Stardew Valley. It's just a matter of scale, and because we have so many quality sprinklers now planted down on the farm, when summer comes along, we can purchase hundreds of crops, hold the ground up, plant them, and not worry about it for the next week or two. It's a total game changer method. So we're back in the mines now today, and we're farming iron ores specifically because we want to make bombs. The more bombs we can make, the more successful we're going to be in the Skell Cavern. I just got a bomb there from killing the bat. That was really nice. I also picked up a coffee bean for killing the dust sprite. That was incredibly lucky. The more coffee beans I can plant in spring, the more coffee I get to harvest in summer, the more triple shot espressos I get to make. Now, I did say earlier I had a steel pickaxe. I wasn't correct. I just had a copper pickaxe. Because I'm using the flower tools mod, it looked like I had a steel pickaxe, but I didn't. We're now going to get the steel pickaxe off Clint. We just have to wait a couple of days. And that's the minimum requirement when it comes to doing Skell Cavern, in my opinion, because it's just 2 swings to break open a node. For the rest of the day, we're going to start pulling up an unmerciful amount of fish. I will attempt to get level 10 fishing before we get into summer. We're level 8 at the moment. We're very close to level 9. Level 7 farming, plus 1 watering can proficiency. Level 8 farming, we can make the keg. Level 9 farming, we can make the iridium sprinkler. All we need for that is just iridium bars and battery packs. They're not too bad to get. Level 9 fishing as well. We just need 1 more level in fishing, and if we get a rainy day, that's a big if, we could have a go at the legend. Now, I made almost 12,000 gold today. I didn't make a whole lot from fishing. The 4,000 gold from mining came from the fact that I sold 4 diamonds. I was going to keep them. I was going to buy triple shot espressos, but I really need money because summer is approaching. I also sold all of my void essences and solar essences. I mean, they sell for fair's handy money, and you can get lots of those from killing enemies. And I also sold my dried purple mushroom as well for 1900 gold. That's just a combination of 5 regular purple mushrooms. So that's real nice money to have. And we also get a pink cake off of our parents. That's going to come in very handy for our future Skell Cavern run as well. Now, I really wanted to try for level 10 fishing today. I did get bubbles up here by the lake, so we will abuse these bubbles to the best of our ability, try to pull up as much fish as possible. Now, when it comes to fishing experience, there's a lot of factors we have to take into consideration. Of course, getting a perfect catch will double the experience of a fish, but the fish quality also comes into play as well. So if we're getting perfects and we're only getting silver or gold star fish, we're losing out on XP. And what's affecting the quality is our luck. Because it's a bad luck day, even though we're getting perfect catches, most of the time we're not getting iridium quality fish. What's also a factor is how deep we can fish. Because the bubbles were kind of inwards and not out very far, that was also a factor in terms of the quality of fish we're going to get. But the bubbles do pay off, because once we throw our fishing rod into the bubbles, we get a hit almost instantly. Because we're on single player mode, time freezes. So the longer we can use and abuse these bubbles, the more fish we can rack up, and we're going to end up getting a ton of fish today. Now, I did run down to Morris. We're going to give him 40,000 gold. That is going to fix up the bus, which will allow us to go into Skell Cavern and run around the desert. I picked up another book of power today, Jewels of the Sea. Finding treasure chests have a chance to yield raw. Now, the raw that you're going to get from the treasure chest is based on the fish that you pulled up. So if we put up, for example, a bullhead and we get a treasure chest, we're going to get bullhead raw inside. We have 2 books of power at the moment, the Monster Compendium, and we have the Jewels of the Sea, which is pretty nice. For the rest of the day, we're just putting up tons of fish. Now, tomorrow is a rainy day, so unless we hit level 10 fishing tonight or tomorrow, we're not going to be getting that legend. The raw can be converted if we put it into a preserve jar, and we can sell it for the profit if we want to. But at the moment, I'm not going to spend resources on preserve jars. It's something we might look at down the road. For now, I'm just going to sell the raw as is. It's extra money. Why not? I'm getting very lucky with treasure chests today. Those fire quartz will come in fair's handy, because we can convert those into refined quartz. That means more sprinklers for us. And here is a fabulous cutscene of Morris hard at work in the rain, fixing up the bus. This is going to give Pam a job as well. And it's just 500 gold to take that bus into the desert. Now, at the end of the day, we made 9,350 gold, primarily from selling fish. Let's take a look at the fish. Lots of bullheads there. Iridium qualities, 187 gold a pop. We also got some chubs, some carps. We got some largemouth bass. The iridium largemouth bass goes for 250 gold. That's quite nice. And we don't even have level 10 fishing yet, so they can go for even more gold on top of that. Just a quick look at our skills. We're doing fairly well. Farming is almost maxed out. Fishing is almost maxed out. And once we start doing this cavern runs, we'll be maxing out combat and mining fairly quickly as well. I got 2 emeralds today in a treasure chest. That was nice. We're just over halfway there to get level 10 fishing. We're probably not going to get it today if we're going to be realistic about it. I do get bubbles here, but we're just too far off. If I avoided going to the flower dance and I spent that whole day fishing, we probably would have been fine, and we probably would have had a very high chance to get the legend today. But because I did the flower dance event, it's just not going to happen for us. Also, if we prioritized fishing a lot more instead of going to the mines to make quality sprinklers, we probably very easily would have got level 10 fishing in spring as well. But look, at least we have a ton of sprinklers on the farm, and at least we don't have to water crops come summer. Now we're going to get our steel pickaxe off Clint, and we're going to hand in the regular axe, upgrade that to a copper. It just means we can start getting hardwood, because we can start cutting away those regular tree stumps. It also means that regular trees will now take 8 swings instead of 10. And it does make a difference when you're cutting down tons of trees. Because it's Saturday, I took a stroll down to the beach because all of the forageables accumulate up until Saturday. We also have the old marina up there as well. So if you're still watching, I just want to ask the question now to this community. Who do you want me to marry for this playthrough? Let me know in the comments and let me know why. Because normally when it comes to marry NPCs, I normally just pick one out of a whim. I don't put a whole lot of thought into it. But let me know your opinions. Who do you want me to marry and why? And I'll take all of your opinions into consideration. So we just saw some fish there to Willie. I've got 22,000 gold. Now I could have went to Morris with that, and I could have unlocked the minecart, or I could have unlocked something else. But I want to focus on Skull Cavern right now. So I'm going to buy some salads. They're going to come in fair's handy. I also picked up a help wanted quest as well. Marta was looking for the leak. I'll give that to her because we still want to get lots and lots of prize tickets. Even though we just got a small amount of money, it's all about the prize tickets. You can get some real good stuff from doing those help wanted quests. We're going to go back to the mines, and we are basically going to farm as much copper ore as possible. And all of that copper ore will not be converted into sprinklers. Instead, it will be converted into bombs. If we can go to the Skull Cavern with anywhere between 15 and 30 bombs for day 1, that's going to be a pretty decent run. Bombs are needed to uncover holes and staircases very quickly. Also, bombs do fairly decent damage against enemies, and a lot of the enemies in Skull Cavern have huge HP pools, so the bombs will come in very handy when it comes to whittling down their HP as well. The weapon we're using, the Holy Blade, it's only going to be good primarily against the mummies and the ghosts. It's not going to be great against the serpents or the slimes, and we all know there's a lot of serpents and slimes in Skull Caverns. We came across an elite slime today. They're always worth fighting because you never know what an elite slime might drop. This one dropped combat boots. It's a very nice boot, but it's not as good as the space boots. The space boots have more defense and they have a lot more immunity. I also wiped out a ghost there. It dropped a wooden mallet. If I got that the first time I came down here, that would have been a pretty decent upgrade. But the Holy Blade is much preferred at the moment because of the buffs that it gives. We also got a mystery note here, and we got a diamond out of it. That's 150 more mining XP, and we're going to keep that diamond to trade in for the triple shot espresso. It's also worth noting too that today is the 27th, so we really need to be hitting the Skull Caverns tomorrow before we get into summer. If we make it down to floor 30 in the Skull Caverns, Mr. Key will give us 10,000 gold, and that's a lot of gold going into summer, and we want to buy as much starfruit as possible. The main reason why this playthrough is turning into a money-hungry playthrough is because in my experience, if you make a ton of money in year 1, it becomes very easy to get perfection. It becomes very easy to knock a lot of achievements out of the way early on. Also, all of the monster loot that we're collecting, all of the minerals that we're getting, we can sell it for even more money. So we picked up another recipe today from the Queen of Sauce. We now have 16,352 gold. We're going to make 16 bombs combined with our 3 bombs that we got from killing bats and whatnot. We've got 19 bombs into Skell Cavern with. We've got 1 diamond and 2 rubies. So that's 1 triple shot espresso and 2 spicy eels. We've got 30 salads and we're going to keep the pink cake as well. Now, while I was waiting for Pam to come, because I never bothered going to the desert, picking up a warp totem, my mistake, I went back to the mines for a few hours just to get some more iron ores to make some more bits and bobs. I then got the bus straight down to the desert now, and the first thing we're going to do is trade in our diamond for a triple shot espresso and our 2 rubies for 2 spicy eels. I'm going to take those buffs straight away, so this is going to make my character way faster, and it's also going to give my character a little bit of luck as well. Today is a super unlucky day. I was told by the spirits to stay home. We're not going to do that, we're going to motor ahead. Even if you get a super unlucky day, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have terrible luck in the Skell Caverns. I've went into Skell Caverns on super lucky days and I've done horrendously bad. I hold up a skill book there, which was nice. It was more mining XP. We're now going to use our skull key and enter the Skell Cavern. So this is the first serpent enemy. The serpents have a lot of HP, but it's worth killing them because the serpents can drop spicy eels, they can drop void essences, they can drop bombs. Everything that they drop can be used to progress our quest for 100% completion. So we won't ignore them. If we see a serpent, we're going to wipe it out. We also have to think about the monster eradication goals. So we're going to be doing a lot of Skell Cavern runs when it comes to accumulating those monster eradication goals. Now if we see mummies, that is going to be easy mode. The Holy Blade will basically melt those in a couple of swings, and we also don't have to worry about using bombs to detonate them because we have the Crusader enchant. They will just disintegrate before us. As we can see, we've got a room here with lots of crates inside it. There is a chance you can get a lucky ring inside one of those crates. It's a very, very small chance, but it's not impossible. I've gotten tons of lucky rings for breaking open those crates all the time. If I see iron nodes like this, I'm going to break them open, because the more iron I accumulate, the more bombs I can make. And at the moment, I don't have a huge amount of bombs, so I have to be very careful on where I decide to use them. Now this floor I'm at the moment, floor number 3, I got horrendous luck. I had to mine open almost every node on this floor to get a hole or a staircase. Now I got lucky, I got a hole, and it sent us down 6 levels. So that was some nice progression there. It's now 10 past 2 during the day. Time does go slower in the Skell Cavern. All we want today is to get past floor 30 so we can get that 10,000 gold. I'm not concerned about getting prismatic shards. I'm not concerned about getting hundreds and hundreds of iridium ores and making an absolute ton of money. I just want to get past floor 30, get the 10,000 gold, and then get organised for summer. Now, dinosaurs are rare enough in Skell Cavern, and to get one out in the open like this, because it's not a prehistoric floor, is very rare. I decided to fight this dinosaur in the hopes to get a dinosaur egg. Now, if I do get a dinosaur egg, I will not sell it. I will actually incubate that. I will get Robin to make me a coop, upgrade it, and we'll have a dinosaur on the farm. We will need it for perfection. So we got very lucky there. We got a dinosaur egg. We can also donate that to Gunther. But if you just have the one, my advice is to just incubate it and then give the next one to Gunther. Sell the next one for perfection and then turn the one after that into a dinosaur mayonnaise and then sell that one for perfection as well. And then you're finished. You don't really need the dinosaurs anymore. So we're dropping bombs here now at the moment. We're making some decent progress. We're on floor 11 at the moment. I got another hole. We're going to jump down. We got 5 levels. You can get up to 15 levels when you jump in those holes. But you have to be very careful because the more levels those holes give you, the further you drop down, the more health you're going to lose. It's always worth topping up on the health before you go down a hole. You never know how far it's going to send you. Now I came across a big open floor here. There was a serpent attacking me, and the serpents are very irritated at the moment because they've so much HP, and sometimes I just want to ignore them, mind the nodes, get on with it, and these things will just swing out of your head until you die or unless you kill them. So we just had to give it our attention. Now I used up a bomb. I was quite reluctant on using more bombs to get staircases, but I got fairly lucky there. I'm also going to get very lucky on this floor. I just have to mine open a few of these nodes and I get a staircase easy enough. despite the fact that today is a super unlucky day, we're making some decent progress. We've got a mystery node here too, so we're going to wipe out this slime. The reason why I'm fighting these purple slimes is because there's a fairly good chance they can drop iridium ores. There's also a chance each enemy inside here can also drop a prismatic shard. We picked up a diamond there as well. Now, because we're going to summer, I might just sell all of those to get money, because we want to go to Sandy tomorrow and purchase as much starfruit as possible. When I got down to floor 23, this is actually a new floor that was added with 1.6. So all you lovely console and mobile players, when the 1.6 comes out, what you're going to notice is lots of new floor types added to the mines and added to Skull Caverns. And when you come across these floors the very first time, they might throw you off a little bit because you won't be familiar with them, but not to worry, you'll get used to them in no time at all. So now on floor 24, that ladder takes us down to floor 25. We've got another dinosaur inside that room, but it's now 5:30. And primarily, I just wanted to get down to floor 30 to guarantee that 10,000 gold. With the rate I'm going at the moment, I more than likely will get down to floor 30. I just picked up a bomb there as well from that serpent. Great things about the bombs, they're doing about 44 damage when they hit those serpents, and that's very substantial. It just makes killing them a lot easier when they get close and I have to whack them with the holy blade. For some reason, I didn't come across a whole lot of mummies today. It was just primarily serpents and slimes, and even the crabs were fairly well hidden. I got 2 holes. Doesn't matter which hole you take, both of them will have the exact same result. So that put me down 6 levels there, no hassle at all. Speaking of mummies, there's a few on this level. We're going to use a bomb just to break open some ores, and then we're going to use our holy blade and just look at the damage we're doing with these mummies. But more importantly, once these mummies' health goes to 0, they just die because we have the Crusader enchant. We don't have to drop bombs and detonate them. That's what I love so much about this holy blade. Now, if I do get a prismatic shard and I get a galaxy weapon, I'll be swapping the holy blade to that weapon straight away because of the sheer difference in damage. And in all fairness, all you need is a cherry bomb to finish off the mummies. It will be a while before we get to Ginger Island, before we can start enchanting stuff. Now, this is what I'm talking about. A treasure room with a purple slime egg. This baby is worth 5,000 gold. We will absolutely sell that. That is a huge find. Especially our first time going to Skull Cavern in spring. 5,000 gold is a lot of money to get from one item in spring on year 1. So I was very happy with that. Now, if you think that's lucky, I'm telling you right now, our luck's going to get way better. You've just seen the tip of the iceberg. We also picked up a battery pack, and that's very important. That battery pack will allow us to make a crystallarium, or we could even make an iridium sprinkler. There's a lot we can do with that battery pack. We won't sell it. Let's have a think about what we'll do with it when we get into summer. Let me know in the comments maybe. Would you like to see an iridium sprinkler on the farm, or would you like to see a crystallarium? If we take a crystallarium, it just means we can put a jade inside it and we can start generating staircases sooner rather than later. But I'm going to leave it up to the comments. All of these regular bats were still a blessing in disguise. I just got 4 bat wings there after killing that one bat. The reason why I got 4 and not 2 is because of the Monster Compendium Book of Power. Now, we are on floor 40 at the moment. That means we've done what we came here to do, and that was to get past floor 30. So we can now just take our time, enjoy the Skull Caverns, and collect as much resources as possible. I did run out of bombs, but because I was mining up the iron ores when I saw it, I was able to make 16 more and we're able to motor on. What we're seeing here now is our first few deposits of iridium ores. There's always a fairly good chance you can get prismatic shards from those ores, so here's hoping. Let's get a prismatic shard before we get into summer. If we will get one, great. If not, sure, look, they're not that rare in the Skull Cavern. Once we start coming down here with tons of bombs and staircases, you're going to end up with tons of prismatic shards. And because we're getting our feet wet in Skull Cavern today, it just means going back here in the future will become easier and easier. Now, what I did see was a diamond node, and that is 150 mining XP I will not ignore. But first of all, we're going to wipe out all of these enemies. Combat XP is still very important to us. We're going to grab that diamond, we're going to plant a few bombs, and we are going to motor on to see what else we can pick up today before time runs out. Now, at the moment it's 9:20. I did fast forward here a little bit. We're now on floor 46 because the previous floors didn't really have a whole lot going on. It was just me breaking open nodes, getting staircases, didn't get anything super interesting. We've got an iridium crab here, we're going to kill that. There's a good chance that can drop a crab cake. The crab cakes are pretty good. Now let's see what I get inside of those crates once I decide to destroy them. So first we're going to make a couple of more bombs, because I'm using bombs a lot more regularly. Let's break open these crates and look what pops out. Yes, it is a lucky ring. How many lucky rings have I gotten from destroying crates? And I say it all the time when this happens, I know you can pan with Poxiel, but for crying out loud, just go down into Skull Cavern, whack open a few crates, and get a lucky ring that way. Now this floor 49 had a lot of nice resources. It had emeralds, iron ores, iridium ores, loads of stuff. When I got down to floor 50, it was almost time for my character to pass out. Now I didn't want to pass out, I didn't want to lose money, so I'm going to wipe out all these mummies very quickly, and I'm then going to use a warp totem to go back to the farm. But first, I just want to break open this iridium node. You never know what we might get. 50 XP and 4 iridium ores. It was time to head back to the farm. Now I didn't get a huge amount of iridium ores today, but in all fairness, I got a purple slime egg, that's 5,000 gold. I got a lucky ring, I got skill ups, it was a magnificent run. And that is basically the end of our video. So thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you next week for the summer start.